Hey guys, it's Candice with Candice Fitness, and today I'm going to go over 5 reasons, or 5 tips rather, all beginners should know when they are getting into strength training. Now, strength training is something that is important that all of us should do, and it doesn't always mean that you are going in and lifting super heavy weights. It doesn't always mean that you even have to go to the gym. It doesn't mean you're going to get bulky. It's something that is important to our health. It helps support our bones, it helps support our joints, it helps us move better, it helps our posture, and it helps us burn more fat, which leads to us being more confident within ourselves. Am I right? It also helps with everyday life. So it's something that all of us should be doing throughout our daily lives, throughout our routines. At least 3 times a week, we should be doing some version of strength training to help ourselves get stronger. And today I'm going to go over exactly what 5 tips you should know if you are getting started with strength training to get the most out of it. All right, number 1 is to progress slowly. When you are working out or getting into a new routine, you do not have to go and lift all the heavy things and think that you have to go max out at the gym, go to a barbell even. You can start with body weight. If you are new to working out and you have not done much body weight work, if you have never really done a normal or proper squat, if you never learned those mechanics, that should be the first thing you're doing. But once you understand how to do these movements, really doing just basic movements with your body weight is gonna get you a great benefit that you're not getting already. Learning how to turn those muscles on and getting your mind and muscle connected. So like when you're doing rows, when you're pulling back, knowing that you should feel it in your back. When you're squatting, you're actually feeling it in your glutes and your hamstrings. Doing simple movements like that with just body weight until they get super easy is a great place and really where you should start. Then you can add in bands. Then you can start to add in dumbbells and other cable machines, more resistance. And essentially, you should think about progressing slow. So start with body weight, then slowly progress as each thing gets easier. So it should take some time before you hit a barbell if you've never worked out before. So progress slow is tip number 1. Tip number 2 is focus on your form first. Now this could technically go back to number 1, what I just said, but form is everything. And if you are squatting and you are not doing form correctly, then you are going to either A, injure yourself, or you're not going to get as much out of the actual exercise as you should. Now, if you need help with that, be sure to check out some of my other videos on how to perform squats properly, how to perform rows properly, how-to videos on how to do each movement, and really nail down what you should be feeling, getting that mind-muscle connection strong. Once you know that, and again, starting with body weight, starting with bands, and moving up through that once you get the form right. And if you're tight, working on mobility, when you learn what you should be feeling, it's going to open your eyes to so much and to imbalances you may have that you didn't realize you had. So number 2 is, again, really learning your form and learning what you should be feeling when you're doing every single exercise. Number 3 is allowing recovery time. I feel like today's world, we're go, 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 and we've had such a big emphasis in the past few years on doing more HIIT workouts, on doing more boot camps, on doing more things, and always having to work out, that if you took a rest day, then there's something wrong with you. But that is so not the case. Our bodies need time to recover. And if we don't have time to recover, we're not going to get the most out of our workouts. So when our muscles are still fatigued, if they're super sore, you need to do some sort of active recovery. Go for a walk, do some stretching, do yoga, do something that's going to keep your body moving where you're not stagnant, but you don't have to work out every day. You need to make sure that you're allowing yourself about 24 to even 48 hours in between workouts of the same muscle group to make sure that your muscles are given enough time to repair themselves, because that's where they get stronger. In that in-between time, that's when they build themselves. That's when they repair and get stronger. That's where the magic happens. Your workouts, you break down the muscle. And then after the workouts is where you start to, where your body repairs them, and in turn, you get stronger and they build, you get more toned over time, etc. So make sure, number 3, again, is that you're getting enough recovery time. Then, number 4 is make sure you do a warm-up when you are working out. Now, this isn't just for beginners. This is for everybody. We should always prime our muscles before we're going to lift, before we're even going to run. Because even if you're doing a cardio workout, I want you to think real quick about how you should be moving, and you should be using certain muscles to help propel yourself forward, to help you land softly, to help you take impact off your knees if you're running or even walking or on the elliptical, have you, anything. You should always make sure that your hips are nice and mobile, that your core's engaged and warmed up, that your glutes, if you're about to do a lower body workout, and your hamstrings are warmed up. So doing mobility exercises and doing actual activation exercises prior to your workout, and this can even be just doing, so say you've progressed past body weight. It can be to where you are doing body weight squats before you actually load an amount of weight onto a bar, or you pick up dumbbells to do an actual squat. You could do squats with bands and then add even more resistance, something like that, to really warm up your muscles. You want to make sure that the right muscles, again, are turned on when you are doing the actual workout, and mobility is going to help make sure if you have imbalances that they start getting sorted out within wherever it might be, whether it's your ankles, your hips, your shoulders, your glutes even. And then the activation is going to help you really turn those muscles on before you do the heavy lifting, if you will. So number 4 tip is to always do a warm-up. And then number 5 is make sure that you have decent equipment. Now, this does not mean that you have to go out and buy the most expensive thing. I mean, Facebook Marketplace, come on, has a lot of stuff on it. Now, all you need really is, depending on the stage that you're at, like I said, if you are just starting out, you really only need a mat, and you may need a couple bands. Like mini loop bands, if you will, to kind of activate your back or to activate your glutes. Then as you progress, as you get stronger, you start adding more resistant bands, maybe a TRX. Then, because that's an amazing way to get resistance training in as well without having to lift heavy weights, because you're working with your body weight. Then you can add some dumbbells, some kettlebells, if you will. But having basic equipment is something that is key to making sure that you progress. Now, again, depending on where you are, that's going to be different for everybody. And it doesn't mean you have to have a whole squat rack and every single dumbbell and every weight. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is you need to have, where you're at currently, you need to have something to be able to challenge yourself, to challenge your muscles so you can keep progressing. And if you go to a gym, then that's good enough. You have all that there, right? So maybe starting out at home, working on your actual movement patterns, and then progressing from body weight to bands. And then once you get past that band point, then you can either invest in a little bit better dumbbells or kettlebells. And then you could also go to the gym if that is something that is an option for you. So 5 tips, again, that every beginner should know, and I'm going to recite them one more time. Everybody should know when you are starting to get into strength training. So number 1 is to progress slow and really pay attention, go slow, don't try to rush through the process. And then number 2 goes right along with that, which is nail your basics first. Know your movement patterns, get those down packed, and then you can start to really progress and add more resistance once those muscles are turned on and working right. Number 3 is allowing recovery, making sure that you're giving yourself enough time in between workouts to recover, and that you're not also just laying still and not doing anything on those rest days, but keeping it moving, going for a light walk, doing something to help your body kind of keep going, and getting enough sleep too. That's a huge part of recovery that I didn't mention. Then number 4 is always warming up. So doing mobility and some activation exercises. And again, it's going to be different at every stage. And then number 5 is get some of the best equipment for where you're at currently in your journey within fitness and working out. So again, it's going to be different for everybody, but depending on where you are, especially if you're just starting out, like I said, just get some bands, get a mat. You can find, I have a link to my Amazon page below where I have a whole layout of what I recommend, and you can find a lot of good stuff there. Luckily now I think they're more back in stock post the beginning of this year in 2020. But yeah, just decent bands, a mat. You don't need a lot, but you want to make sure that you have something to work with. So I hope this helped you, and if you found it beneficial, please share it with someone who might find it beneficial as well. Be sure to like and subscribe if you haven't already, and you can find out more again about my training programs and different things that I have to help at CandiceCFit.com.